Okay. This mic?
In my view, and many of the views of many people here, the vast majority of legislation that comes out of Congress and the mandates that come out of the bureaucracies and also the executive orders that come out of the White House and the executive order itself and the way it's used are all unconstitutional. So with this pervasive of a problem, what are you guys, how far are you willing to go in terms of nullification and other bold action to get them to stop things like health care and et cetera?
You going first?
It's you.
Okay.
Go.
How far am I willing to go? I am willing to be a leader. I'm willing to stand up. But in my experience, in my work experience, one of the things I do is I take projects, millions of dollars of projects every year. I take them from the vision, the people's vision, through planning, through coordination, through negotiation, design all the systems in large buildings, design the infrastructure, design the outstructure, the output sections and everything, and then take the projects to finish on time and on budget. And I do that by breaking it up into pieces and actually making progress. Somebody has to get the job done. And that's one of the things that we need is somebody who's actually going to get the job done. Not who's going to stand there and shout to the moon but get nothing done. We have to have somebody that's going to agree. What am I going to do in the House? First thing is we got to freeze spending. We have to stop spending money without a doubt. How do we stand against these unfunded mandates? I think the legislatures, the way to do this in a pragmatic and real way to actually move the ball down the field, to actually make some progress instead of just speeches, is to actually go and work with the states, with the governors, and find ways that we can hand programs that should not be with the federal government back to the states. Hand them back to the state governments, hand them back to the state legislatures, and even hand them back to the communities. Stop unfunded mandates. The health care absolutely has to be stopped. The bill is horrible. There is no health in the health care bill. We absolutely, if it goes through, I'll do everything in my power to stop it, repeal it, and throw it out the door because it is a piece of garbage. We have real solutions on the table. That is what I stand for, and that is what I will push. They are all achievable solutions that have 70 to 90% support across the board, Republican, Democrat, Independent. They are achievable. They are passable. Someone has to have the courage to stand up, show the leadership, and move the ball down the field. Get things done.
Kenneth, I think when you asked your question, I heard talk about nullification and what we're going to do about unconstitutional items. The thing is that when you get to Congress, your job is to represent your district. My district will disagree with unconstitutional things. I think pretty much everybody here is going to disagree with anything that's unconstitutional. It shouldn't be there in the first place. When it comes to supporting the governor, the best thing you can do is be a strong, effective leader in Congress and give the state governments as much top cover as humanly possible, because those governors have to go out on a limb in order to nullify something. Or, for example, if Texas were to secede, for example, that's another issue where the governor would have to go out on a limb. We have to have the representatives in Congress that are willing to support their state governments, and we have to be able to hand things back. Effective leaders can do this very quickly. They have to have a plan of action, and I believe that I have the background to support that, and I'll talk to you more about it later.
I believe I told you how we can do it. We break it up into pieces. We have to do that. Excuse me. Effective leadership knows how to move things forward, and that comes from experience too. I bring 10 years of experience at the negotiating table with architects, consultants, committees, church committees. If you've ever dealt with a church committee, you know how much fun that can be and what a challenge it is. Because there's all personalities involved. I negotiate with contractors, subcontractors, all throughout every building process, and I get the job done. I think that stands for itself.
I keep hearing a lot of talk about work experience, so I kind of feel like I should chime in here. I was an officer in the military. I do know how to lead people. I do know how to get the job done. My commander saw to it that I was in charge for that very reason. They put me in charge of protecting and defending $5 billion of assets at the age of 23 years old. I was also brought on in ExxonMobil to handle multi-billion-dollar contracts from start to finish. So yes, I do know how to do that as well. I, on a day-to-day basis, manage over 30 projects that are all over $5 billion a piece. My most recent piece of my most recent piece of energy that I'm working on is in the Northwest Shelf of Australia. I'm working with their government. I'm working with their contractors. I'm working with people here in Houston. I'm working with drillers. I'm working with the people at ExxonMobil and other corporations. I know how to deal with people. I know how to work with people. I can get things started, and I can get them finished. It's a step-by-step process, and I can do it.